Oh, your jacket's not done up properly. No, it's not. It's fucking baking. Ridiculously hot. Finished recording the last video about an hour or two ago. It got hotter. It got a lot hotter. This is another one of those days where I wish I wasn't wearing full leather. But it is hot. I've just noticed where I am. When I was having driving lessons, I was coming up and down this road. There's a pothole around here somewhere that kept hitting one of the wheels in. Here's a bit of random question. When you ride a bike, do you use your rear brake a lot? Because I tend not to. Most of my mates do the same thing. They use the front brake for stopping and the rear brake for stabilising. And it's a good question, to be honest, because they both slow you down, but people ride it differently. People use different amounts of brake in different ways. Because me, at the moment, I have to use my back brake because when I use my front brake, my brake light doesn't come on because that cable snapped. I need to buy a new one. So now I actually have to use my rear brake when I'm slowing down to let people know I'm slowing down. But before that happened, I barely ever used my back brake. Okay, jeans, t-shirt, well over the speed limit. On the plus side, he's not hot. On the downside, he gonna die. But yeah, like right now, I wouldn't touch my back brake, except for the fact I have to let people know what I'm doing. When I say I use the back brake for stabilising, I might need to explain that. If you go very hard on your front brake, the back will get a bit squirmy and a bit light, and you lose quite a bit of control over it actually. So if you go hard on the front brake, I do a little bit of rear just to make it easier to control. But my primary brake is my front. Because for me, there's a lot more braking power on the front wheel than there is the back. When you use your brakes, all the weight from the bike, all the momentum is pushing the bike forward and compressing the front suspension. So your front wheel gets buried into the ground. And because of that, when you use your front brake, it feels like it's got a lot more braking power because it does. But if you pull your front brake while leaning around a corner, you're not going to be on the bike very much longer. So around a corner, I don't touch the front. If I need to, I'll dab a little bit on the back brake, sort of just feather it up and down. When you're slowing your bike down using your brakes, the bike wants to be upright. So because of that, if you slam your front brake on round a corner, the bike is going to do one of two things. You're either going to lose the front end, so the front wheel will just slide out from under you, and you'll go down in a low side. If you're going around a right-hand turn, the right side of the bike is going to hit the ground, and you're going to fall over to the right. That's a low side. But the more worrying and much more spectacular crash is the other thing that could happen, the high side. And the high side is basically, you're going around a right-hand turn, and the bike flips you up over to the left. And that's what happened with my big crash. I took a handful of front brake, the back lifted up off the ground, as it hit back on the ground, it regained grip and flicked the bike over, which meant the bike barrel rolled and the left side of me took a lot of damage. See, I learnt my lesson about how to brake around a corner. Basically, don't. You need to get the right speed going into the corner so you don't have to brake. But if you do need to brake, lightly on the rear, don't touch the front. But in a straight line, if you want to stop quickly, your front brake's going to do a lot more than your rear. So I've got nothing behind me, rear brake doesn't really do anything. But front brake, you slow down fucking quick. But as I did that, I felt the rear lift off the ground a little, because all the front was shifting forward. So if you do a little bit of both, I'm not going to argue about percentages, this shit worries me. Yeah, if you do a little bit of both, like 70 on the front, 30 on the back, 80 on the front, 20 on the back, however you want to do it, but I tend to always do more on the front. It will keep the back in line, it will stop the back lifting up, because not all of the weight's getting pushed forward. You're keeping it sort of in the middle, and the rear stays planted on the ground. I'm not doing a very good job of explaining this. I'm giving it a damn good go though. Now this person behind me's just got to listen to my exhaust. Hope they enjoy. So yeah, how do you brake? Do you go hard on the front, little on the rear? Do you touch the rear at all? Or do you only use the rear? Because I know someone that barely uses a front brake, which to me is just fucking wrong. It's just alien to me. I'll see if I even brake at all, because the engine brake on this thing's brilliant. Yeah, a little random one there. How do you brake? Let me know down in the comments. I'd be interested to know how many people do what. To know, like MotoGP riders will go full on the front, tiny little bit on the rear. There's a line, love. Meant to be behind it. So yeah, just let me know what you do. I'll catch you all next time.